got 6 o'clock, and if y'all don't care to, today, we've been honoring the ones that lost their life in 9/11, and I asked Shane to open us up in a word of prayer, and then a moment of silence, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, Lord, we just thank you for this day. Father, we're just thankful that we get to meet here in such a way and in peace. Father, we know that by what we have today, it's been a sacrifice by many. And Father, on this day, we recognize those that had lost their lives some 22 years ago. Father, we just ask, oh Lord, that you be with us tonight, that you guide this meeting in the direction you want it to go. We pray, oh Lord, that we do things right by what we do and how we spend the money that is brought into the county. Father, just be with us and forgive us and watch over us this night. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Would you join with me in Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Black, it appears that we have a quorum. I call this meeting over. Would you call the roll?
Barnes.
Present.
Brown.
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Peoria. Here. Estes.
Here.
Hastings. Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett. Wills.
Here. Tonight I got the NRCS office here, and if y'all don't care, if we could start with them to put a little presentation on first.
National Information Activity. Good evening, I'm Brian Neal, here as a representative of Charles County Conservation District. Tonight I have the board members are myself, Bob Murphy, John Charles, Charles Stumple, Zach Baxter. Also with me is our District Secretary, Cynthia Binder, and our CS District Conservationist, Becky Long. We're all here to show our gratitude to the Quorum Court for their past support. We're currently presenting you with a copy of our annual report. As you can see, we have been quite busy and have accomplished many goals this past year. This report covers our activities such as equipment rental, nutrient management plans, and other programs. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at it much, but take the time. With the dollars brought into Sharp County through the programs and practices provided by the Conservation District, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, if you read the report, we're here to request $15,000 in county allocations for 2024. The county allocation allows us to receive match funding from the state. Without grants and match funding, like the Quorum Court allocation, we could not have had a successful 2023. Through our office, a few of the projects we're very proud of are equipment rental. We've got no-till drills, we've got 4, we've got sprayers, seeders, a roller, and all this is managed by James French. He takes care of all of it, and he's got it all top-notch quality. We have people from all other counties come to rent ours, actually. This equipment is very expensive, and by being able to rent equipment from us, the farmers do not have to purchase it for themselves and are able to get the work completed. We provide every poultry grower in Fulton, Izzard, and Sharp County a free, state-required, comprehensive nutrient management plan for their operation. We assist NRCS with their programs such as Environmental Quality Incentive Program, Conservation Stewardship Program, and special projects that bring in revenue to our farmers, such as the 2021 to 2024 Lower Strawberry Watershed Project located in Mill Creek, Maze Branch Watershed around Sydney and Eden Shade. The money that we are requesting for 2024 will be used as a match money for match funds from the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission to assist with personnel, office expenses, and educational material. During the 2023 year, our office worked with well over 1,500 Sharp County citizens and brought to the county close to $1.65 million of people that use our programs. That's the money we brought in. We as a conservation district believe in conserving our land and practicing good conservation. We would like to thank you for your time and hope you consider our request, and I'll return it back to you. Any questions?
Any questions from the court? Thank you.
I just want to make a statement that where you went to the nursing home and did the fishing program, that looked awesome.
Yeah.
It made a lot of people smile. Thank
All
you.
right. It's a blessing.
We get a lot of money here in Sharp County for the farmers through their office.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Can we start now back to reading, correction, and disposition of minutes? Can I get somebody?
I move we accept the minutes presented and dispense with the reading.
Second. Got a first and a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Black, I'm not being too pushy.
No, you're
Okay.
fine. We just noticed Justice Hayes.
You gonna call her roll?
You know we're doing the minutes, right? We're on minutes.
Okay.
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 Barnes,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy,
Yeah.
Wilks.
Yes.
We got the county treasurer.
I'm going to apologize, I didn't get all of my report in the packet, I ran out of time, so y'all will find revenue reports on those tests tonight. We paid on the bonds, September the 1st, the jail bonds. They were able to call $475,000 worth of bonds. It was not the time of year that we make an actual bond payment. So they called $475,000 worth of bonds and we paid that. $83,000 worth of interest, so that number is dropping drastically as our balance drops. Right now, today, we owe $3,720,000 on the jail. If sales tax revenues hold out, I'm kind of like our agent, our bond agents, I think in 2 to 3 years we can have that paid off. But the revenue report shows your sales tax for the month is leveling. We're not seeing the increases this year that I seen last year between 2022 and 2021. The numbers are balancing out. We are still ahead from where we were last year, about 50,000, but last year ahead of 2021, I was 70-something thousand. So I'm beginning to see a balancing. It's not increasing monthly as it has in the past. This should have been a good month because this would have been sales taxes that the businesses collected in June, which they would have paid to the state in July, and then the state sends it to me in August. So we should have seen some good sales tax numbers, but like I said, they're starting to show signs of balancing. Does anybody have any questions?
I have one. You know in the schools where they say tax exempt for school shopping and stuff like that, does that affect our taxes very much, and would it affect it yet? You know, where they don't collect taxes on all the...
We won't see the August revenues until my October report.
I saw that.
But it doesn't, if it's my understanding, it doesn't exempt county sales tax. It's just an exemption for state sales tax.
Okay.
doesn't exempt the county.
Okay.
But August sales will show up here in October. But it shouldn't, I mean, I shouldn't see a difference because of that, because it's not supposed to affect local sales tax.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions from Ms. Gertz? County and Circuit Clerk, Ms. Black's here. Do y'all have any, Ms. Black, you got anything?
They should be telling us about what kind of money we're gonna get on that grant we put in for in October.
Okay.
So I'll let everybody know about that.
Anybody got any questions for Ms. Black? County Collector is,
She asked me to tell the court that they had a good land sale with the land commissioner, and there was several parcels redeemed prior to the sale. So she was real pleased with that.
what about Ms. Kathy, County? Didn't. We'll move down to,
Asked me to tell them about the
we'll
land.
move down to the sheriff. You got anything, Sheriff?
All I do. I'll start out with our total revenue for this month out of jail. NCIC phones was low. Had some disciplinary stuff going on in the back. I kind of shut them off for a while. That was only $1,610. The nicotine was $5,826. The ADC housing was $31,800. The over-the-counter drugs, we recouped $137.54. Prescriptions, we got back $353. The doctor, there was only $4.52 recouped on him, but that was a total of $526 that we normally would have got. That total revenue was $39,736.76.
700,
Pardon?
39,700.
$39,736.76. Since we have, one of the things that I was telling you about as far as switching to the NCIC, the communications in the back of the jail, one of the things was their opportunity to go and start a study of some sort. We have right now the total learning hours in the back for the inmates is 4,481 hours that they have spent in some kind of educational program. The active learners was 108 active learners. The top courses was culinary series, anger management, parenting while incarcerated, introduction to plumbing, and level 1 and level 2 reading practices. So it's not been in vain as far as what we have done, making the changes back to the SEIC. On another note, it's only been a month, but we have seen a difference already in this short month with the jail and the jailers coming in. You know, you passed overtime. We got now a little bit of overtime that we can squeeze from. Edith has not had to come in and work one shift since then. We actually have a few people that's willing to volunteers to come in and work this overtime instead of trying to get part-time help to come in. It's taken a big load off Edith as far as scheduling. She says the morale is up. She hasn't had to come in and fill in one. And employees are, the relationships back there are improving. With that being said, dispatch right now has 179 hours, 179.25 hours on the books as far as comp time goes. That's how many, that's the hours that we owe, the county owes our full-time employees that they need to take off because they've worked over. This year alone, there's been 139 hours of comp time worked by our full-time employees. That's average of 17 and a half hours a month, so is what that averages out to. Our 911 coordinator, Elisa, herself has 106 and a half hours. That's a lot for one person. I'm asking since it's worked so well in the jail, I'm asking for money for dispatch, for overtime pay. There again, it's, when you have a full-time off, somebody has to fill that seat. It's not that we just can't not fill that seat and everything just go on the way it does. Go on the rest of the night. It doesn't work that way. We have to call in a part-time, or Lisa comes in and works that shift. Maybe this isn't the time, I don't know, but she's pregnant, newly married, got 106 hours comp time on the books. I need to do something, because we're going to end up losing her. And she hasn't said that. She hasn't come to me and said, I'm fixing to quit. Nothing like that. But I can also tell you that her husband would probably like her to be home more. I'm asking for overtime pay for these dispatchers, is what I'm asking for. If you average all this out, it actually only averages out. I took it at 18 hours a month, 216 hours a year. The overtime pay based off of the entry pay is $19.11 an hour. Now that's not including any kind of the insurance or payroll tax or nothing like that. That's only hourly wage. That comes to $4,127.76. And that's just the average out. I would like to see more than that, but there again, that's the reason I'm throwing it out here and letting y'all look at it. If that's something that you think that we can do, it would be much appreciated. I have one more thing after that. Y'all was looking at, we talked about last month, the AEDs. I believe that we come up with a figure of 23 was what we come up with. I have two bids, and actually the one that matches that the Spring River Ambulance Service is using is actually about $4,000 cheaper. The low bid quote was $34,454, and the American First Response was $39,605. So that's the two that we got. But that's all I have. Anybody got any questions? I'd be more than happy to answer if I can.
Springer was using the 34.5, 454.
That is the one that they recommended. That is the ones that they're using. I can't speak for them, but I would say that if we got in a bind and needed some pads or a battery, they probably have extras that we could get until we could replace them.
With the 911, that's probably one of the most important offices there is in the courthouse. You might have a deputy sick and hadn't been at home, but when it comes to answering the 911 calls, you have to have somebody there. And as working as sheriff, I said many a nights in that seat, because Shane tell you, sometimes it's hard to find somebody to work overnight, and that's a very important office. I think you could slide by with the deputy not being out, but you can't slide by not having a dispatcher. You could shut the jail down and send them somewhere, or the judge could let them all loose, but you're going to have to answer the 911 calls. So I don't know if y'all want to discuss that this evening or wait till the November. It's up to y'all. I'll leave that up to the court. But I'm in support of
What was
taking care of
your
this
number of
budget.
hours at the jail last month? Do you remember? Do you recall?
I sure don't. I can probably find out.
What we appropriated last month?
I don't remember. Did we?
We did
It was not before last when you said you
Should be on
did
this
it
minute.
and did it last month, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't bring my packet with me
Yes, sir.
from last month,
That is correct.
This will be last month minutes, wouldn't it?
maybe.
Do you remember Miss Wanda or Mr. Lee?
I'm thinking 4,000 to 5,000, wasn't it? I think so. That's what I'm thinking. Don't hold me to it.
Would we have plenty of money, Mr. Neat, or, I'm sorry, Miss Wanda, in 911 to do something to help with the overtime?
Oh, that's not, I have one back. I don't want to look through it. Yes.
You remember what you asked for last month?
It'd been the month before. I think it was to finish out the year.
Went in about 23 units, 24 or something like that.
The whole central. Oh.
I think
This is total.
it was around 6,000 to finish out the year, wasn't it? That seems right, doesn't it, Judge?
Only thing I'm wondering is just when they ever get a divorce, we pay her overtime and she works more?
Do what?
In the minutes, it says $13,320 plus social security and taxes for overtime in the jail on the minutes from July 10th.
But that's for a full year, correct?
I don't know, just the minutes, that's what it says, so I think so.
I think it was for a
You
year.
figure that for a year, Sam?
Sorry?
You figured that for a year last time when we done that for you over there?
We did. I'd have to get my stuff back to Lou.
Yeah, I think you did, Shane, you figured it for the year, you were telling us what you needed now, it's 13 something we carry for the year.
That sounds correct, yes.
This figure, Shane, was from January till now on 911.
Yes, those were the figures.
That would just catch you up, is what you're saying.
Now, I don't know if Elisa has talked to you, but she had talked to me, and at one time, she was going to use some of her comp hours for maternity.
Yes,
Because she doesn't have
I'm not-
enough
I'm not-
vacation in 6 days.
I'm not suggesting to go back and pay for what's already built up. I'm just saying, I believe you're right on that. I believe she's going to use a lot of her comp time
Yeah,
for
she's
that.
wanting, because she was wanting to be off with the baby.
That would be.
She had told me that one day.
What can we do to alleviate this in the future, though? I mean, if she's the one that has to pick up all the slack, is there something else that can be done?
Well-
Hire another employee, or what needs
I
to
mean-
be done long-term to fix
I
it?
can just tell you, there's two things. One, we need to hire up somebody that can replace her as far as setting and dispatch, if that's ever a possibility. That way she can do her stuff, her admin stuff in that other office. I know this isn't the time or the place, but we all know it. We have to figure out something to do in order to retain employees, because we run through them between the jail and dispatch. We run through them like the cell barn. And that's no disrespect to anybody. None of them is coming with, no disrespect. But Kevin, you've been there.
Back to life.
You know out there in the jail or in dispatch that I don't want to do it.
Are you understaffed in 911? Have you ever position filled?
We try to, but, and I'm not trying to beat anybody up here, but when you're paying minimum wage, it's not working. It's not. You know, I tried to hire a guy from Red Buell the other day. You can go talk to him. He's been there 6 years. I know the guy. He's dependable. I asked him to come up and put in an application if he wanted the job. He said, "You bet." I said, "Come up." He turned the job down because it cost him $150 a month. That's at our jail. That's a true story if I've ever told it. That's part of the issue. I mean,
Your office isn't the only one. I mean, I'm sitting down there with an empty spot too, because I can't find anybody that will take it. I've interviewed at least 2 that's just laughed at me and said, "I'm sorry, there's no way."
the only, if I don't have somebody sitting in a seat over here, it takes 2 dispatchers on 3 shifts. If I don't have somebody sitting in there, I have to fill it. Somebody has to come in. If I have a jailer, it doesn't show up. Somebody has to come in and fill that spot.
Yeah, they probably have a man and a woman.
Yep. We have to have somebody in those spots, period. And I can't keep anybody long enough for them to learn the routine and how to get people in and out and what they're supposed to do with the inmates and the trustees and the lunches and keeping the place clean, because they come in, they train, they go to work at Red Mule. No disrespect to Red Mule.
Well, that didn't just happen this year.
Well, I understand.
But will 10,000 be enough overtime
I'd say for a year.
for a year?
I'd say that'd be close.
Ms. Wanda, does our numbers look like we could cover
I'm
10,000?
looking at his budget, I think that there can be money moved around within the numbers that he's already got appropriated and handle some of, yes, sir.
If it's all right with the court, I'll get with Ms. Wanda and Shane and get something together for next month.
Ready to vote on the AED or whatever they is.
That would be fine. I was gonna bring that back up now that we're done with that. We got 2 bids tonight on the AEDs, and what's the court's wishes? I guess I ask, is there any discussion first?
Well, that's an important deal. I'm moving to buy the ones
Recommended.
recommended.
Do we have any revenue left in our ARP or rescue plan money?
We've got that LATC money that I got last month, that 50,000.
Would that
Did you say 50?
I got 50, yes.
That would be appropriate for that, wouldn't it?
And it's better to use stuff like that than to dig into our county money.
Correct.
Because it's a one-time shot money, and it's better to do something like that
I'll do
than to
second.
dig into our county money.
I'll second it.
Okay, hold up. 23? Is it 23 of
23
them?
units,
For,
$34,454 even.
34, 454?
Yes, ma'am.
That was 3 for the courthouse, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who was the bid from? Name on it?
From Zoll, ZOLL, AED plus,
And that's to-
ZOOLE?
ZOLL.
ZOLL. Okay,
And that's good.
all right.
Did you get it?
What?
Did you get our motion, or our first and second on the,
And it's gonna come from the, or it's gonna go.
We need that separate.
LATC
What?
fund, LATC.
We need that separate, I think.
It's fund number 1007, I think, yes, fund number 1007, Lauren.
Okay. Who made the motion?
Chuck Murphy made motion to accept the bid, and Kevin Dance, am I correct, was second? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Chuck? We're ready to call vote?
Barnes,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dent,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Wilkes.
Yes.
In front of you, you should have a letter from the Drug Task Force Prosecutor's Office. He has started back the Drug Task Force. I hadn't got to talk to him in discussion about the Drug Task Force. One of the gentlemen that's...
Excuse me just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Did we act on his overtime, or are we going to?
Well, next month, we're gonna put you something together and bring it back next month to you, sir.
Where was the letter?
Did we not hand out letters? Well, I apologize. I'm just gonna update you and fill you in on what's going on. Then, didn't print them off. The prosecutor sent me a letter. They've opened up the Drug Task Force again. And back a couple months ago, first year I didn't hear anything from him, but a couple months ago, one of the guys starting the drug task force come by and told me they starting it up again. And then last month they come by and seen me and Shane and didn't have any equipment or anything, so Shane's loaned them a truck, and I told them I would help them out with some fuel. And when I discussed fuel, I was talking about $1,000, $1,500 fuel, and then they come back the other day and said that they needed some money for their matching grant this year. Their cycle runs from July to July with state funds, and I was already helping them, and drug task force does a lot, but I would just like to wait till November when we do our budgets, because we're already helping them. But I want to ask y'all to run that by y'all and see.
They're not asking for money right now.
No, they're asking for money now for the grant cycle
And you
now.
got the money to do that? You say?
Wasn't that a line item in the old budget?
It was a line
Before
item.
we shut down the drug task force?
Yes, sir.
What was the amount we gave them before?
It was at 5,000.
I'm thinking 5, that's good now.
And what are they
That's
asking for now?
They're asking for, don't have my glasses, sorry, $52.50. So $250 than what it was last time.
Would that be budget time? Wouldn't that be time to put that in the budget?
I would like to do it at budget time. Like I said, we've already given them a truck and been buying them some fuel out of mine. And Shane helped them out with the truck.
I think we paid them a while before, after they shut down before, too.
2 years.
2 years we paid them and they
Well,
wasn't,
they weren't, yeah, Henry didn't have it officially shut down, he just didn't have it.
Nobody working, did he?
I can do this last February, I thought visited with Jack Yancey, who's a former sheriff, and also DEA director for that 16th Judicial District. If y'all remember, there was a fentanyl death in Israel County that a Sharp County resident was charged with murder. Sheriff Yancey told me that that work that they did over there that led to this arrest over here led to 34 indictments from here to Chicago. So I think that's something we need to get on the ball with.
Yes, sir.
And get behind our drug task force and fund them.
Anybody else?
I agree.
If y'all, want me to get the prosecutor back for next month's meeting, or it's up to y'all?
Whatever, don't matter.
I just felt like when we met last time or the time before, we just said we wasn't gonna do nothing in the middle of the year.
I didn't mean immediately, this
Right.
is at the appropriate time.
See, like Kevin said, we paid it 2 years after it shut down.
Of course, this is a new prosecutor now.
David's more active.
I guess our money's gone from 2 years.
That was
I'm for doing it, but I don't want to do budget or whatever.
All right, we'll move on to resolution and ordinances. We got an ordinance to revise the employee handbook for technology resources. The state passed that, and we have to have that in our handbook, so if I could get somebody to read that, if I can get over to it, sorry.
Them numbers, you have to number them.
There isn't a number. You have a number for it, Ms. Black? Number 10?
We think, look, we're possibly,
So just leave it alone right now? Could I get somebody to volunteer to read that tonight?
Number 2023.
Yes, sir.
An ordinance adopting revision of the employee handbook for Sharp County policy and procedures for at-will employment and other matters. Whereas the Quorum Court of Sharp County, Arkansas has determined the suspect items in the attached employee handbook for all at-will employees should be revised and adopted for Sharp County employees. See attached changes. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Sharp County, Arkansas, that the attached employee handbook revision are hereby adopted for policy and procedures at will employment for Sharp County employees. the provision of this ordinance are hereby declared to be separable, and if any provision shall for any reason be held illegal or invalid, such holding shall not affect the validity of remainder of this ordinance. All ordinances and resolutions of parts therefore in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to extent of such conflict. Move we adopt.
Second.
Barnes,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Benz,
Yes.
Peoria. Yes. Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Wilkes.
Yes.
Is that all we have to do with it, Ms. Black? Thank you, Justice Wilkes. We had our federal audit done and completed, and they notified us that we had a cost of $9,500 for it. And if it's all right with y'all, if I take that money out of the ARP money that we had left to pay for that federal audit, I know that's my responsibility, but I still like to ask and let know what's going on and make sure it's fine with y'all.
Go right ahead.
Are there any questions about the audit or anything?
What was that?
Our federal audit, we've been notified we owe $9,500 for our federal audit this year.
9,500?
Yes, ma'am.
We have enough money in that fund still?
Yes, sir.
No, they'll pay it out of some of the ARP money?
ARP money, yes.
We got notified from RDOT that they have $75 million that's been put in the bridge fund, and notified us that we had 4 bridges that qualified for this money. One of them being Griffin Bridge that crosses the South Fork, the 2 on Simpstown Road, and I'm embarrassed one other place. But there's 4 of our bridges, and so we was gonna apply grants for all 4 bridges and see if we could at least get one of them, would be nice. We just got finished with a low water bridge down on Hamlet Springs Road, and guys really done a great job down there. They're moving to Big Creek, starting Monday, and doing the grant where we got the money for the unpaved road grant. They'll be working on that starting Monday. That's the next project. The unpaved road grant also advised us that they would give us some money this next year to work on Baker Cemetery Road. And it's got a lot of places that it washes out when we get a bunch of rain on that road, and so hopefully springtime we can get that one fixed up. Still waiting on a road grader. He said it'd be here August, September, and I contacted him the other day, and he said that he had pictures of it. They said they got a VIN on it, but I still think it'll be the first of the year. It's like everything else.
Have we got all of our road graders? We got employees for all of them now?
We're still like Shane. We get somebody started training, and you know, it's just, they feel like they go. I had 2 retire since I've started. 2 left to go get more money, and we had to let 1 go. And so, kind of tell you, when you started off and you had 2 or 3 that we had that were spots to fill, and then losing them, it takes a while. You think that somebody needs a job, and just like Shane said, they look at the salary, laugh at you and leave, you know, and so blessed with the people that I got out there. I've got some good talent out there, and like Shane, wish we could pay some more, you know. I know we only got so much money. Any questions of the road department? We got any announcements from the court?
I do. The NHA Community Event Fall Festival, September the 30th, downtown NHA, over 25 vendors, arts, crowd, food, kid activity, cornhole tournament sponsored by the Sharp County Junior Fair Board. We have Silver Hedge Band at 12 for 81, Landon Paris 130, Simple Southern Cloggers at 215, Kids Cash Q 3, Penny Shannon and Mark at 315, and Morley Family Magic at 4:30. Street Dance at 7. Appreciated if everyone could come.
What was the date again? What was the date?
September 30th, Saturday, it'll be on Saturday.
Yeah, we also got homesteaders there at Hardy that week, that day too. Anything else from the board? Any questions or comments from the public? Can I get somebody to?
I'm moving to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Thank you.